Welcome back. Welcome back to the Luxago live stream. My name is Jacob. I'm here with Mickey. Mickey, how you doing?
Hey, how you
Have
doing?
a good
Everything
week.
good?
Hey, it started working again. I guess it just wasn't working in the layout, so I got to mess with that. Our little background there was bugging, but welcome to the Luxago live stream, guys, where we're gonna go over some charts, some news, some this week. We are going to be limited on the amount of streams we do. So right now, obviously, we're going to have one today through close here, maybe a little bit after, not much after, but going into the rest of the week, we might do one extra stream this week, but after that, you'll see why eventually. And we'll see you more than likely on the 20th. So for now, we have CPI tomorrow. As per the title. So really got to be careful with CPI in the morning. I was going to see here. Sorry, I'm about to take off the intro browser here so we can look at the overall markets right now. The Dow Jones up 90 points. SP 500 index is up 3 points. NASDAQ up 1 point, so pretty much break even. I think that is right. NASDAQ 100 is a little bit in the red. Let me double check, make sure we're not totally off there, but no, it looks about right. Yeah. So same kind of thing last week. We kind of started the stream and we were pretty much break even on the day. So we've been trending back and forth quite a bit. But let's hop into the updates and news that's coming out this week. We got to keep an eye on today. Nothing really crazy, but tomorrow, very important. We have CPI at 8:30. Now that remember this is Eastern, so this is an hour before market open. So be very careful during that time. And this will probably set the sentiment into the rest of the week. So look out for that. It is projected 3.3, which is, not too bad. If it's lower and if it beats the previous report, that'd be awesome. But we'll see if it does. If it's lower than projected as well, it would be even better. But, we'll see what happens. As we continue to fight inflation, but big numbers on Tuesday coming, as well as Wednesday. So you see here we're on Wednesday now. We have the core retail sales coming out early 8:30 again. So 8:30 this week. Be very careful. PPI coming out then too. So these numbers could drive us to do a bull run if it's if they're solid. But for now, I would probably wait for that. And then there you go. Remember, we were supposed to have crude oil today, but that did all the investing.com calendar was messed up. You can see it's actually Wednesday at 10:30, so that's exactly what we're looking for. Crude oil inventory, and I don't have to feel like I'm crazy because they have the reports wrong. I was like, why are they changing this? But anyway, 10:30, like always. Usually it's 10:30, sometimes 9:30, but 10:30 on Wednesday, you got the crude oil report. It's already looking like it might, price might eventually bounce back, but we've been coming down pretty hard on crude oil. So it's been a fun little downside move so far. But Thursday, we got the Fed Manufacturing Index in Philadelphia, and the initial jobless claims, like always, every Thursday. And then let's see, we got anybody? And then building permits, on Friday. Building permits Friday. So very heavy news week. Could drive us into some decent buying or selling. Hopefully we go to the long side. That'd be really nice to get a nice rally back, especially for everybody that's in long-term investments waiting for that, recovery that we've been longing for since COVID. But let's see here. I think that's about it for this week. And Mickey, you got any updates that you want to speak on that's coming out this week?
Yeah, the only update is I wish the dollar index would behave for me.
I feel you. I feel you there. We all wish they would all behave very nicely. Great. But let's hop in, see what we got going for us here. And one sec. I'm going to make sure I have the right. I'm going to bring my charts up here real quick. And sorry, the stream was being weird when I loaded it up today. So it literally, as soon as we went live, it kind of messed up. So just making sure we're looking good. And it looks like we're doing just fine. Okay. So let me grab some music as well, so we're not sitting in silence.
Hey, also, we had a few messages in our VIP room. Could you go over just briefly on how you use the matrix with your strategy a little bit?
The oscillator matrix.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah, we'll go over that for sure. I want to. Somebody in the chat already was talking about Bitcoin. We definitely want to go over Bitcoin because the massive rally we had last week. Ignore what I'm trying to do. This is the Bitcoin 4-hour chart. Like we said, 38K got touched last week, last Thursday. We streamed right after that talking about it. But again, still in that consolidation here. We go to that weekly chart. You know, we ended up, now we're trading a little bit lower, but great weekly close. This could eventually drive us into a continuation through that 38K level based on the current price action. Very nice level that we are at. If we look at, you know, the weekly order blocks and see our breakers, we should have fully, we didn't almost, sorry, it was, I guess, right above that 37K there was that breaker block. So almost fully recovered that previous broken order block, which remember, this is a very strong demand zone that has been retested now that might send us back into this next swing high. So it's a matter of getting back and holding that consolidation this week, and then we might get a move to 40K. But we really like in this state a possible move to the 40,000 level. Ignore all these crazy order blocks because we're just looking at a lower time frame now. But for those of you that are new here, and you see all these crazy order blocks, I have 4 instances of price action concepts, each with a different time frame order block. In this case, white is 1 hour, gold is 4 hour, and pink is the daily. So we really like to look for levels where they line up. We can consider that a more significant price level to be traded. So at this moment, you know, we're in only that weekly order block as well as rejecting a daily breaker block right now too. So yeah, for Bitcoin, just still in consolidation. Let's see where we head from this moment, and then maybe, you know, we might get a nice move at some point. But we hop into ES here. Great day today. Sadly, Mickey, I'm sorry, you're the short great level, but you know, you just can't fight the trend power on Fridays, huh? It's like it's like, hopefully, I mean, you had 100 ticks in profit, so you definitely made a little.
Well,
bit
the key is to close it out, right?
Exactly.
Close out your losers. Put a smile on your face. I took
I
a loser.
I could say I didn't make 100 ticks on Friday, and if you did, so that's all that matters there.
Hold on. Let me count. 90 plus, that's 120.
120, sir. Nice. So there you go. You have your wrists down, guys. You understand. You know, you had a clear setup here for a short. You know, retesting this order block, slowed momentum, and look, you had a day that was just gorgeous. You had a 50-point day. So if anybody that trades futures, 50 points, woo, that's a decent chunk of change there. But rallied it right back on Friday to break out of that previous swing high. So you can see, guess what? This order block here on the daily for the ES is still there. It's because it hasn't fully closed over it, right? We haven't had a full close over this high. So we're looking to see if we can get that this week, maybe today or tomorrow. But had a nice bounce off of that. But if we do get a close through this, we will get a nice change of character formed. And then maybe, you know, maybe we flip into an uptrend. But, I mean, tomorrow is probably going to determine big time where we might be heading for the rest of the week, maybe through the end of the year. So let's see what we get next week. Or sorry, let's see what the numbers are tomorrow. But I'm sure, yeah, NASDAQ, of course, did break that high. That's typical for NASDAQ, a lot more volatile. Broke the high and this downtrend. Look at this downtrend here. We have firmly closed over and retested that previous downtrend for a nice upside move so far. So for the NASDAQ, looking really bullish for 15,800, right? That's the start of this daily order block sitting up there as well. If we pull up our other order blocks, we can see this was a breaker block so far. We can use that as a retest point. But for now, a lot of potential moves to 15,800, which would be awesome. But again, you do have this little bit of a swing high in the way, so we'll see if it retested that first. But for now, target would be the 15,800. Let's head over to gold. Look at its large time frame here. Gold, we talked about this on the retracement. We wanted to see it fully pull back to the 5 level, to the 50% level of the Fibonacci, right? We have the 618 sitting down here as well. But really like where it's at in this current moment. You can see because of its previous high that we had here, which is technically would have been more than likely a breaker block if we go back in time, but goes across. You can see where it's finding that first initial bounce level, but it's also off of these highs, right? So if we were to, I think I have all of those breaker blocks. If we were to pull up a breaker block, you probably see it right here. Boom. So there you go. Previous highs right now acting as support so far. Now, you want a confirmation first before you take an actual trade off of that. But in this case, nice little previous high. Of course, it's going to act as some type of support for a little bit, and then it'll decide where it wants to go. But in this case, nice little retracement here so far on gold for potential continuation. We're out of this, large downtrend that we had for quite a while. Now, if we wanted a full retest, look where the retest lines up of that downtrend. It would line up right at the 6.8 level here if we were to retest a downtrend. So that would be a nice little target if it doesn't bounce where it's currently at on this breaker block. But for now, it's looking good for possible continuation. Nice little bull run on gold today if you ended up day trading it. But let's head back over to oil. Remember, we broke the 80s. And then now bouncing off of this previous swing low, 1%, and is not as big as the previous 4% that we just completely demolished that level. So that's another thing is if you get a breakthrough like this of an order block or something, you could have a good indication that that following day is going to have a have a continuation of the same movement. Sorry, let me mute my Slack area. I always forget to mute it when we're on here. And I always forget to unmute it too, so I miss a bunch of messages. But again, if you ever see like a full breakthrough order block like this, it's very clean break, large body like that, you could easily get a continuation the following day. So it's a good way to judge what might be continuing because it completely took out that swing low that happened back in August. And guess where it's testing now is that next order block. So from that candle close at $77, you had a push all the way down to $74, $75, $2 move. Pretty large there on crude oil. But for now, bouncing off of that current order block, we had 2 days of confirmation last week, right off of the median there for that previous swing. But look where this previous swing is setting up. This is another thing to double check these levels, right? What levels might be more significant in your eyes? In this case, we had this level. If we pull this level back, was this level ever like some type of like clear support or resistance? Not really. It was traded through quite often. So in that case, pulling that back, I noticed this level was traded through quite often. But if I were to take this level into account and mark it like this, right, and I pull this across, what do you see? Is you see it's bounced here, but more than that, you've seen a lot of resistance right here at this level. And 2-3 times it retested back in June. Couldn't break above it. Finally breaks above it, finds support at the low, and then makes that uptrend move. Now we're back into that exact zone, and we're already seeing a reaction off it. So that could really help with coming up with your analysis on what's next for something like crude oil or Bitcoin, something like that. But crude oil for now, really like it to potentially fill this imbalance. You could possibly trade a reject here off 78. If tomorrow we beat those, Wednesday we beat the inventory numbers, we see a more positive inventory, you're probably going to see this continue a little bit lower. But for now, I would just really depend if, we get this bought back a little bit more because it could already be priced in as well. So that is for crude oil. We went over Bitcoin, the QYM. I don't know if there's much else to be looking at. Is there anything specifically y'all want to look at? I know Edward said the Amazon 4-hour chart. We can look at that for sure. Give me 1 sec. Man, my My allergies right now are horrible. But not too bad of a day in the overall markets here. Our Neo Cloud, Neo Trail strategy has been fighting its way to the pass line, to the 3K mark. We're still sitting a little bit under 2K, but we'll see if we can get there. It's more of, we just take every trade and wait and see if it can get back, towards that level. So we'll keep you updated as that continues to be traded. But let's see, check the 4-hour Amazon. I did want to look over these signals and overlays as well today on the, let's see, the daily charts, see what we're looking at here. Because we had that one signal on the NQ back in on the 3rd, and it's done quite well. Wanted to see for, ES here. Look at Bitcoin as well. So there you go. This is a nice little lineup here for where ES would need to break. You'll get a change of character through this level, right? But then you'll also be breaking that bearish smart trail. So if that is the case, then we're really looking for a nice longing for probably a decent bit of time. Let's look at Bitcoin again. I need to just have Bitcoin on my watch list, to be honest. Still in a 3 signal. Remember, 3 is one of our strongest signals. 3 and 4 are the strongest. Very nice rally from that original signal. And continuing to hold this price action. So for Bitcoin, it's one of those things where we've been extended for a while here. In price action terms, eventually we're going to get exhausted, come back down. In this moment in time, don't see it going lower than like 35K would be the lowest. You have a lot of previous resistance that could eventually come back and find you support pretty easily. We'll see if we can get that. And then that would fully, honestly, reset the oscillator as well to give you a potential move to the upside. So we'll see if we can get it. But, it's just a matter of time now that we're waiting on, where this wants to be driven next, because it pretty much runs in spurts, right? It has a nice rally or sell-off, and then it consolidates and then figures out where it wants to go next. So in this case, Bitcoin, on the daily chart, we can see that small retracement. If we go into the 15-minute here, or actually let's go to the 5-minute, because that's my favorite strategy setup. A lot of consolidation today, right? Bitcoin's very consolidating. Yeah, we can cover the Euro USD. I mean, it's very similar, obviously, to Bitcoin, trades alongside it almost. But in this case, very choppy. When you see multiple signals like this, you identify chop. The biggest way I like to identify chop as well is seeing the amount of turning points on the oscillator and seeing, let me see here, multiple change of characters, right? When you get those change of characters printed, we know we're in a chop range. We want to wait till we break out of this range before fully trading it. In this case, this is a great example. A lot less amount of turning points, as you can see here. 1, 2, 3 on this down move here. Sorry, 4, as well as a 2, breaking that smart trail a single time and having 1 change of character and a BOS. So that's why we always talk about look for those BOSs before considering a trade on anything, right? In this case, like here, you had a BOS into a change of character with a 2 signal, came and bounced off, but look, money flow was not positive. I really want that money flow to match up anytime that I'd be looking for a trade setup. So because it's really going to help you identify when that trend is going to occur. So finding the trend is the biggest fight we have. So, Bitcoin chops a lot. In my opinion, if you're going to be trading Bitcoin, you definitely going to have to be patient because trends come when they want to come. They don't come all the time. That's why you want to be trading multiple things so you don't have to wait around all the time for Bitcoin to be trending. We were just going over gold a second ago. We'll go over that again. Let me look at the euro, or let me look at, sorry, he was saying euro USD. I'm dumb. That's my bad. Who said that? Fancy shoe. That's my bad. I thought you were saying Ethereum. Yeah, let's look over the euro. But guys, welcome back. I forgot to say, hey, what's up? Hope you had a good weekend. Fancy's here. Rice. I don't know if you've been here before, but welcome. Benji, of course, like always. Christina, always here, hanging out with us. Let me see. Anybody else, Mickey? We see Edward, like always. Mohammed. Let's look at the Euro USD. And this is recently why we've been, especially me and Benji. Me and Benji been trading this Neo trail strategy for a decent bit now. But things like commodities and what I'm noticing is, Benji, I think you said currencies were giving you trouble. Currencies have still been pretty good to me with this strategy as well. But let's look at, what we could have seen on the Euro USD today. Nice little setup that we had forming here as well. In my opinion, this isn't an ideal entry, of course, but we could have had a potential trade opportunity with less risk. But in our normal strategy, what's nice is you're seeing a shift from bearish money flow, right, into bullish money flow. Okay, so seeing that shift, bearish candle here, bounce off, nice order block down here, get that 2 signal, change character, and then on here, you have the money flow flip with this turning point, and boom, that turning point I would have taken my entry. Rough risk to reward because it is at that high there. But that's why noticing that, I'm like, okay, I'm going for a 1-to-1 trade, and then I'm going for a less. So if I normally buy, 1 or 2 contracts, I'd buy 1, and then go for that 1-to-1, which you would have had just right. There you go. Well, let me see this swing low here. And then in this case too, I've seen people do this where if you think you're entering too high, you want to take less risk, you can also set your stop above or below the current candle's entry point. So you broke that high, you could set your stop loss above that. More than likely, the next swing low, I move my stop. So in this case, if you want to do that, take your less risk, you would have had that similar setup that we always look for. I can't grab my chart here, but off of that risk there, you would have had an easy 2-to-1 on the euro and so on. Here we're to look at the 4-hour though for the euro USD that we can. Still in a current chopping state for sure. This has been back and forth. You can tell even by the smart trails being sideways, extremely choppy, and the amount of turning points on the oscillator. Really is not lining up for me. So 4-hour time frame though, long term looks better off long. Obviously we hit a 3 signal here and do a change of character. We rejected a 26% order block up here, but we're finding that support over 106.625, which you would want to keep probably where your stop would be somewhere below that if you were long. But in this state, it's tough. You did come out of a massive downtrend. That was a really nice downtrend for a while, so this consolidation makes sense. Coming into, this trading period here would have been really nice for a bull flag, but then it kind of just flaked out, not really big volume, and it's kind of stuck. So if I was to actually trade this, I would want to wait for this previous lower high to be broken at 107.174. And then potentially take a trade if that volume kicks in, or honestly going short under that support that was set there on the 4-hour, because that technically is confirming the resistance here so far. It's confirming it, but if that breaks back down, it's going to just get flushed with sellers again. So we'll see where it heads from this level. But overall, nice little upside move that occurred late last week, it looks like. Or no, sorry, the week before last. So maybe this continues to hold support. We retest this order block up here. Derek, what's up? Savio said, which is the best extra signals and overlay smart trail versus reversal zones? We've recently been using the smart trail and the Neo Cloud. Reversal zones are good for scalps, extended price. Really good actually in these chop markets. If you can identify a chop range, you can use reversal zones to your advantage big time. But looking at what we're seeing here, on the euro, it is nicely enough trending during the day, like very minor trends. But at this given time, it's still struggling on the 4-hour chart. Let's go see here. I haven't been a huge fan of taking these trades on the S&P 500 and the ES, but hasn't been too. Today didn't look like it was too bad. Let me change this song. My preferred time frame to trade. We're back testing a strategy on the 3-minute right now. If you're day trading, I would say 3 or 5 minute. I honestly wouldn't go lower. You could touch on the 1 minute if you're trading something else, but if you want to like actually trade a trend, like a daily trend, you probably want to keep your time frame up a little bit higher. Max 15 minute if you're day trading. But in this case, we do the 3-minute on this. I know Luke's been doing 15 seconds. This guy's insane. But I don't know. It's just, it's honestly comes down to preference. 15 seconds though doesn't look good on on like crude oil, right? If you're gonna trade, you can't I can't trade 15 seconds on crude oil. But like if you're gonna trade 15 seconds, I mean I guess you could somewhere around here, like during morning volume. But if you're gonna trade something like that, you want to look at like high volume, like ES or NQ or whatever. But you know, 3 minutes probably usually the lowest that I go. But you know, if it works for you, it works for you, right? That's all that matters. Whatever works for you. But I was gonna see if we did have any setups. It doesn't really look like we do. I mean, you could say ES here was setting up, but I would have missed my entry. And for this strategy, we really, in my opinion, I like to take the lowest risk to reward we can get. In this case, it would have been probably right at this low, exact low here, right there. And then I usually leave my stop away until it's an actual lowest set, and then I move it up. But for now, this would have been our entry point, targeting, you know, this previous high for 6 points. But, you know, we would see if it actually pay off or not. But, you know, it's been struggling up here. A lot of sideways trading going on for sure. Welcome, Curyu Bell. I can't, how do you pronounce that? Can you pronounce that, Mickey? He said he's new here.
Curubel.
Curubel? Curubel?
Curubel.
Well, welcome to the stream. Hopefully we're not mispronouncing your name or just like botching it. But we appreciate you being here. Guys, if you're new here, feel free to hit the subscribe button as well as like. We're at 43 likes right now. If we can get to 100, which I don't know if we will, but if we could, that'd be awesome. But today, pretty minor stream. Obviously, we're a little bit later today. This week's going to be kind of quiet for the live streams. We might have one other one later this week, but the following week we'll definitely have some fun stuff coming. So be ready for that. But he was Sol USDT. Let me look over Amazon for Edward again. Man wants Amazon every day of the week. Remember what did they have that? No, they didn't really have that sell off, did they? They had their earnings gap down and then rallied back. That's what it was. Amazon, I mean, you're stuck right here already at this previous high. In this case, there's no reason to short here, no reason to long here. If you're in a position, you just hold it. If you're in the position long side, you hold it. Don't enter short here. I'll tell you that. I wouldn't enter short until this low is until 140 is broken. If you're in a long here, you just hold it until 140 is broken. 140 gets broken, you probably want to get out. But if you're long term, like long term, then you just want to hang on to that for sure. But overall, not that bad of a consolidated period that's sitting at these highs here. If we go to like a 15-minute or 1 hour, you can see we have Been trading back and forth quite a bit here. So we're inside that daily order block. I think we could break out of at least this high that we set at 143.36. So we'd wait to see if that occurs. Awesome. $1 billion idea. Yeah. CPI is going to drive the UVXY for sure. It's going to drive all the volatility indexes. It's going to be a crazy day tomorrow for sure, especially before market even opens, which would be fun to see. Some volatility again. But it'll be a crazy week with the amount of news that we have coming out. YM also in that daily order block, or sorry, daily breaker block. So we want to see, when you're in these breaker blocks, you want to see if they have any reaction to them. Obviously, a lot of times they can also be imbalances. So in this case, we definitely possibly get that area filled there, 34.5 on the Dow Jones. But gold, somebody wanted to go over gold again. This is the gold futures. I'll go over the gold pair, but I trade the gold futures. We said we were in this breaker block. We were in a previous resistance zone. We really like to see this potentially retrace to the 618 level, right? It would be a retest of this. I can mark it. Retest of this downtrend as well if it hits the 618. But being where it's at, this is great price action at this current moment. If it holds this breaker block, I'm probably going to look long. If we go over to the same one on this side, let's go to daily. We just got our 2 signal. We're still in bearish, money flow. So another reason why I like a stronger retracement. I would want to see if it can come down, maybe retest, the smart trail. But oscillator though is sitting lower, so it definitely has the potential of finding that level of what's the bounce with that oscillator sitting as low as it is. We're in 2 signals. If we were to optimize, we take off midterm and see what the optimal sensitivity is. 11. So if we were to optimize here, which is not really much of a change. There you go. Optimized it. We're still at a 2 signal. We hit that 2 signal early after this low signal we had. But again, we're at that previous resistance right now. We're already trying to show that we want to get bought off of it. And it also came off of this previous high too. So this level is definitely significant. The 1940 to 1950 range there. Very significant area. So we'll see if we can hold here. I would want, though, that breaker block to full on find that support there, and then we exit the breaker block. Now if we go to like a 15-minute, let me bring up the 15-minute pull on the 4-hour breaker blocks, or sorry, the daily. You can see it on the 4-hour too, lines up. See, we're still inside a daily order block right now. We're trying to break out of it, but if we break through that, we could have that nice move. Let's go to that 4-hour again and see what that was. Yeah, so 4 hours as well. It's just a previous low swing, right? So you want to find support over that exact level there if we want to actually break out and continue. So it's a good zone. It was a good target zone if you're long down here, would be that low, or this order block here. But if we can find support anywhere and get a breakout, I think we go and retest this 1960. But overall, not too bad. Yeah, Mickey, is there anything you want to go over?
Yeah, I mean, I could briefly go over my order blocks.
Hey, you're talking about going over the Dixie.
Yeah, I can explain my thought process on the Dixie and why it's not behaving. Yeah,
for sure. All right, Mickey's gonna go over some stuff with you guys, and I'm gonna blow my nose probably.
There you go.
A little stuff.
Blowing your nose on live.
Oh, you're not gonna hear it. I'll tell you that.
All right, dollar index. I use the dollar index for correlation or inverse correlation on most of the pairs I watch, specifically Forex, as in the Euro USD, USD JPY. Here's signals and overlays, dollar index. To some, you might say, it's trending up, trending down, right here in the live room or in the chats, live stream. I've always said dollar hasn't been behaving for the past 2 months because of this range box. It's not making its mind. Why? Because if you compare to past price action throughout the year before these last 2 months, it's been very beautiful, right? Take a look at that. It's been trending very nicely. Thereby, the correlating pairs and the inverse correlating pairs are going to follow suit, right? But these days, it's chopping around. You can scalp a little bit here and there, right? But for swing trading, which I am dipping my toes in, I am having a very hard time, very challenging time in Forex pairs, right? So that's why I'm took a few trades off of the futures past couple weeks. I've been backing off on the dollar index, but I've done something. I'm actually taking a long trade on a Euro USD based on this dollar right here, right? It's just no particular strategy or whatnot. It's just a gut feeling, right? I am thinking in terms of this trend here, actually. See, let's see. What is a good drawing tool here?
The rotated rectangle.
I want to find this right here. All right. This is what I'm looking at. All right. Ever so slightly downtrend on the dollar. Okay. Ever so slightly. Okay. I'm testing my swing. This is going to be a long swing. We're talking weeks probably. I took a long on the Euro USD, not a full size. I'm going to be upfront with you. I'm actually taking the Euro USD on the futures micro lot. Okay. I'm not going to peacock my way into this discussion like, full contracts asked. No, it's going to be a very small futures micro size, right? Micro contract. And I'm going
8:30 tomorrow is the CPI release.
Nice.
8:30 Eastern.
I'm going long on this one because I'm seeing lower highs and lower lows. Okay, it may or may not work out, but this is the only way I can get into Forex right now. I'm forcing my way into Forex. I've been away too long. But let me head over to the order blocks. We have some new members here in the room. Let me explain. It's very simple. This is my personal strategy that I personally use. Okay. I have 2 sets of price action concepts. Okay. The first set, okay, I colored them in gray tones for myself. Okay. This is the charting times time frame order blocks chart, right? And this is a 4-hour chart. So these gray boxes show 4-hour order blocks. Simple. Okay. I overlay another set of price action concepts. I use a higher time frame order blocks on my 4-hour. So with this 4-hour chart, I like to overlay the daily order blocks. Okay. Here is the settings on my second price action concepts, and the time frame I have is daily. I set it to daily, and I have them at different colors. The charting time frame order blocks are gray tones. The higher time frame coloring are the green and red default colors. Okay, so we can turn those on. Okay. I just use these order blocks as key levels.
So the bees are back.
The bees. There you go. Bees. Bumblebee. Hold on. Shit. But my, my rule is I like to trade on the rejection of any of these order blocks, especially the daily order blocks, and I like to trade the breakout of the order blocks. So you can actually say, I mean, I trade a range. You can actually say these order blocks are range levels, right? Break out, break below, So that's how I trade. Here's some examples, right? All right. Here's one false one, right? I'm not gonna not talk about that, right? I'm gonna let you know. So you went a few ticks and then it went up against you. You close out real quick. You take that loss. You take that small loss. Learn how to take the loss. All right. Here's one. All right. Break out. Winner, winner, chicken dinner. Here comes the chicken. All right. Here's another one. Break out. Okay. You go over here. You have several tries breaking out. You close them out real quick, right? One failed. Depending on your target, I don't know. This is the ES on 4 hours. So this little move right here is a big chunk of change, right? So you could say that's a winner or you could say that's break even. I don't know your strategy, right? But if you close this one out for a small win, break even, there's no way this could be a loss because on a lower time frame, you already had the structure break against you before it hit your entry, okay? So let's call that a break even or a small loss, right? You reset, okay? Now you hit the big one. Winner, winner, chicken dinner, right? I don't care how many small losses you have here. This one move makes it up for you, okay? Take a look at this right here. I always say you trade on the breakout of an order block, okay? I am not going to not talk about this. I will talk about this, right? Well, Mickey, here's a breakout. It didn't work. Yeah, it didn't work. Of course. So you close out immediately, right? And you wait for another setup. Right, there you go. Everyone see that? The order block was mitigated. But if you waited, there now it's back. If you waited a second shot, there you go. Off to the races, right? Every strategy has losses. You need to take the losses real quick. Do not bag hold. Do not say, I'll just wait one more bar, because that one more bar may kill your account or may kill your prop account, okay? Just close it out. Who cares, Last week, I had many losses. I had more losses than winners last week. My win rate was pretty low, but my losses were like, what was it? On the ES, it was like 10 to 15 ticks, right? But my last two trades that happened on, what is it, Thursday night and Friday made up for it. Total of 120 ticks, all right? So take your losses, all right? Let's take a look at, here we go on the ES. It's going up right now, all right? Why is it going up? Because the dollar's coming down. We have a little bit of correlation, see? Right here, the dollar is going down. Thereby, certain assets will correlate or inverse correlate. The market as a whole should be inverse correlate. So when the dollar goes down, in theory, the market should go up, right? So ES is going up. So, well, it's the end of the day. So I wouldn't trade this, but, my strat would be this. That's the setup. I'll probably be waiting for tomorrow, okay? Let's take a look at crude. There's crude, okay? Notice the reaction of these order blocks, right? Look at this junk down here, right? Up, down. Why? Because we have a breaker block, okay? Amazon. Edward, here's Amazon, okay? You had this nice move to the upside, right? Why did it pause? All right, hold on.
Order block.
There you go. All right, the daily order block. That's a funky little arrow there. There you go. Rejection. Nice scalp. Going back up again. Right? Rejection. Daily order block. Okay. Russell. Same thing. Order blocks are important for me for the future when price revisits that area. Not when it forms. It's when the price revisits that area down the road in the future, right? Boom, boom, rejection, okay? Rejection, okay? Take a look at this, all right? Take a look at this order block down below. When this formed, price was around here somewhere, right? So it would have been here, right? Take a look at this. Price comes down. It's hitting a wall. It's hitting, hitting a floor because of this order block. These order blocks are important to me. So I develop a simple strategy around these order blocks, right? Here is the micro futures on the euro. Okay, I'm trying to take along. All right, I'm trying to take along. I'm not using daily order blocks. I am going to gamble because I want to get in the beginning, right? Because I'm willing to take this all the way up. Worst case is I get the move's over right here, but right now I think I'm plus one tick, whatever. But this one's going to be a long play for me. Okay, so that's all I got for my order block play. Right.
Nice.
Let me see one thing. To be transparent, there you go. There is my trade.
It's on, -1 tick. What are you doing?
It is on a live account. Okay. I mean, it's on my. I think this is my second TradeStation account, which is the test account. Right, small amount I put in. I'm using micros on this account.
What's the margin on one micro? For the euro.
No, for the euro, the margin's real small. That's why
I feel like
I want to say $200.
Nice.
The overnight.
Yeah.
Well,
for the overnight?
The micro crude oil, which I will trade after this is done, is really cheap. It's $700 overnight.
That's
and it's $1 per tick. And on the crude, even if it moves 1 inch on my chart, that's a lot of ticks. For $1 a tick.
Hey, Montu,
right?
That is a great question. Will be a segue into our
go ahead.
Intermission here. But if you did like the strategy Mickey just went over, anything that I've been going over, you can actually access the indicators we're using 30 days risk-free. Just the link in the bio. Somebody from Santo Domingo just signed up 20 minutes ago. He capitalized on that 30 days risk-free.
Ring
and
the
Belgium.
cowbell. We need
Belgium.
more cowbell.
I'm just getting the notifications while I'm on the page here. But again, you can just go to the link in the description. You get 30 days risk-free. If you have more questions about it, obviously, we're happy to answer your questions. But you can also go to that resources tab. And you can click guides, and you can see all the info on everything we just went over. The order blocks, you would go into price action concepts. Go to the volumetric order blocks and learn about how they work, how to use them. Obviously, we're here to go over strategies that we like as well as answer any common questions you might have. But again, you can get 30 days risk-free. Anybody can get 30 days risk-free. Just go to luxago.com or that link in the description of this stream. But heading back over to the charts, let's look at that margin rate here. Let's do a little. For those of you that don't understand margin, margin is the amount of capital you have to have in your account in order to trade a certain asset. In this case, we're looking at future margin rates for. He was trading the. You're trading a euro.
6E1.
61. Where you at? Where you at? I could search it. It looked like it was right there. I'm just gonna search it. Currencies. Click that. I was just there.
The actual symbol on the chart for TradeStation is different on their website.
Oh, it is. Gotcha.
Yeah, so just go to micro
euro USD. Yeah,
that's it.
6E. Yeah. So we can see these dollar amounts, right? Wow, that you're not wrong. So this is how much you have to have in the account balance. So as you don't understand margin, This is a trading
And it's actually
101.
cheaper than a forex
There
broker.
you go. This is trading 101 here. Futures usually are cheaper per contract, especially if you're trading your own capital, which is why it's much better to trade. But M6E1, the highest is $230 to hold this, which I'm assuming is overnight. So $230, you get to hold at least one micro overnight and have no problems. You can just hold it. You don't have to close your position. But you'll see here, depending on what you trade, right? So like the SP 500 here, intraday initials, you have to have $1,200 in your account to trade one E-mini. But the overnight, look at the overnight margin you need is 12 grand. So you're going to want to well, I think you would automatically get closed. Most brokers would just close you out if you don't have enough money in your account to hold it overnight. But you would definitely want to just close it before close. But that's why, they have micros as well. The micro ES there, here you go. Overnight, $1,200. So there you go. Pretty common account size for anybody starting out is, roughly $500 to $2,000 usually. So technically you could trade micros, but intraday is only $112, which is awesome. And I do like TradeStation quite a bit. TradeAway has lighter margins, but it does have more bugs and it does crash sometimes. So it's not as protective as TradeStation. Plus, pretty sure TradeStation you get better fills on too, which can come into account if you're a scalper. But overall, pretty common above amongst both of them. But if you have less money and you want to be trading mini, like E-minis or something, and you're crazy enough to do that, then you probably want to use TradeAway, but I'd be very careful doing that. I honestly would not recommend it. Anyway, I was going to look at and go over, it's a good segue as well as going into CPI, because he was asking about when CPI is coming out. For those of you that, don't fully understand these numbers, and I'm not an expert in this at all. I just understand that it's important, and it judges it judges inflation. It's been actually a conversation over whether or not it's leading or lagging judgment of inflation is the CPI numbers, right? If you click on it though, here you can get a brief synopsis of. Here's common logic. We could go back to the what do you call it? The caveman days, right? But it says it here on the page. It says Consumer Price Index measures the change in price of goods and services from the perspective of the consumer. Is a key way to measure changes in purchasing trends and inflation, right? The CPI, Consumer Price Index. I can just commonly think, okay, that means, the price, of common goods, right? It says it right there. But then you read this. A higher expected reading should be taken as a positive / bullish for the USD. So those of you that come here read the first sentence, positive bullish, don't just think, oh, if it beats tomorrow, the whole stock market's going up. Well, no, it's for the USD. So what did you just say, Mickey? What happens when the dollar goes down?
The dollar goes down. In theory, the market goes up.
Right. So if this is positive for the dollar to go up, the market might end up going down, right? So that's, these are things you have to understand when these numbers come out. Now, obviously, the nice part is, more than likely you guys won't be trading before this. I wouldn't recommend it because obviously there's a lot more in play here than our little tiny accounts that we're trying to make money on. A lot of algorithms are going to read it, and they're going to read all past data, how the entire economy is doing, everything they need to know to make an informed decision on whether to long or short in that given period. So you trade reaction, let the algos trade based on the actual data. But if you want to understand the data, you can easily, by just reading through it, going back in the past, looking at what's been reported, how the market's reacted to it, and you can understand it a little more, which I would highly recommend doing. Tomorrow, inflation is inevitable, right? So having a steady CPI rate is fine. 3%'s not too bad. If you go back just in the past, before good old COVID, you can see that we were down in 2020. Let me see, March, August. We were down below 2%. right? We're down 2%, 3%, pretty common price, 2%. Now we obviously cranked up based on everything that went on with COVID, but look how much we've been decreasing. So for this current economy, this 3% mark is pretty good. So we'll see how we end up changing here, but we're seeing that slowing, which is what we want to see, right? Common sense for any average retail trader, we want to see it, slowing in order to continue the track that we're on. Obviously, we're still down from all-time highs, but so long as that number is slowly coming back to the resting state in which we've seen is highs have been 3s, lows have been low 1s, and seeing that, increase at a lesser rate is going to be way better off for our market. So we'll see how we end up tomorrow. So again, this is year over year. You can do the same for month over month. It's reported at the same time tomorrow, just to overall figure out, where we might be heading next. So that's always good to know. In this case, going into that as well, we can look at crude oil. Crude oil is probably the easiest report to understand, right? The crude oil report. If there's a surplus, then price goes down, right? If there's a negative, then price goes up, right? If there's less or more. 1 second. But in this case, tomorrow we're about to be about break even, right? It's what's forecasting. It's forecasting an near even number. So we'll see how many barrels are posted tomorrow to judge what way we might head. But we've been selling off quite a bit, right, on crude oil just in this recent time. In this case, if that report gets hit, more than likely we just trend a little bit more to the downside. If not, if we report less than, we might see a really nice bounce. I do think 80 to 90, great range. You can see here if we go to a weekly chart. That we've been in a range from 64 to 90. So I don't think we would get as low as 64 just yet, especially with the war going on across the world. But in this case, our pricing has been pretty good, pretty clean. So we'll see if we continue to make these moves starting on Wednesday once again. See if we get maybe a move back to that 68 level, or maybe back to the 90s. But this report this week will be good to judge on where we might be seeing by at least Friday. We've been, obviously you can see on the 5-minute today had a nice big rally there. 4-hour got a lot of imbalance to fill on that upside, but we're also in this breaker block at this current moment. So we'll see if we can get above 80. It'd be really cool to see a nice little move up there, but we love the way this has been traded. So we'll see if we can, get back up there. But, if you look at a 5-minute, the trending aspect of crude oil recently has been so good. Real nice, clean price action, finding support over previous highs, and then, breaking those highs. Same to the downside here, as we saw like late last week. The week before, but finding that, previous resistance from previous lows. So really great trending state for crude oil just recently. Gold as well. Gold has been really good. But coming into close here, let's take a look at where the ES market is sitting. Obviously, we're just chopping around at these highs. I think it's anticipating the data tomorrow. So it made its move for today, and now it's just kind of waiting, more than likely, for that data tomorrow. You'll get probably early 3 a.m. action. When the London session starts, you'll get some action. And then coming into, obviously, early report at 8:30, we'll get, a clear direction where we might be heading for the rest of the week. So stay tuned for that early tomorrow. But yeah, I don't know. Did I have any? Let's see if we had any trades on our signals and overlay strategy today on anything that we like to trade. I like to keep my autopilot on midterm when I do this strategy. Starting with the ES here. Market open today. We sold off, rejected a bit, but oscillator never reset for us. Same with the upside. So no trades would have been taken actually with this strategy today. I wanted to see. Let me go back here. Oh, sorry. Let me turn off my breaker blocks for now. So we get a clearer view here. Oh, I think I have the. Sorry, 4 hour. Let's go to the chart. So we do like to use breaker blocks for targets as well, just order blocks in general for targets. YM today, was there a setup? Let's see. Kind of. There's a pretty close setup. You could have taken this with low risk, obviously. This is similar to what we do like to see. I'm going to take off the order box. But it did actually pretty much have a setup, especially with a force signal, pretty strong, but lower risk setup. Break a structure, right? Change character, force signal. You got that shift from bullish to from bearish to bullish after it extended here on the bear side. But then this turning point right here would have been your entry. Now, we talked about if it ends up being at a high like this, setting your stop below that candle low, and then you target the 2-to-1. So nice little move there that would have occurred on the YM for a decent trade. Crude oil today. Just gonna see if there was somewhat of a trade. Not really. You had the bearish money flow, but this is another good indication that you could take a lower risk trade bet with it bouncing off of the smart trail there, which is this is a trade that we took. I think. Let me see. I might have missed it on here. We take it now. This could have been a good Neo Cloud, Neo Trail is what we call it because it's a smart trail Neo Cloud hit though, and seeing this coming back down, testing the Neo Cloud or bottom Neo Cloud as well as the smart trail sitting there as well. So testing them at the same time. It did that twice today. Beautiful setups for a continuation there on crude oil. Definitely had a nice move there. Let's go to gold today, see if we had any entries, and we did not. BOS did change character, though, with a nice rally after that. I don't think we had any gold trades on the 3-minute today. There's a small little one right here, but didn't really go anywhere. Usually this late, don't like to take them if it's that late. Silver, not ideal. Copper, not ideal. Straight up on copper. Nat gas actually did for us have a trade today, but it ended up getting it stopped twice for small losses. You can see the arrows here, but in this case, actually, this one would have hit. Actually, I think $50 on this one. Anyway, this is first touch, or sorry, this is the other thing where we talk about we want to take first initial entry here, like you saw here. First initial entry off of this ended up getting triggered, but it did end up going lower. But second entry hit a decent little profit there on the downside. Broke it up, though. See, this is super late. Broke up and then had this big rally here on Nat Gas. Nice little move there. Wish it would have retraced for another entry, but the biggest hit we had today was on the euro. I wish I would have held this trade. It would have been way better, but this is exactly the ideal setup we look for with the Neo strategy. You have the Neo flip here. You get the retest with it overlapping. We took entry right on that candle close there. Targeted that high, this body close right here, this high. That was a, I think it was like $250 trade. Or actually, I think it was 300, but 3-to-1 ratio there. But here's the hold that could have occurred. Nice little hold here would have been massive on the euro. You had roughly I don't even know how to, you could say 58 pips, I guess you could say pips, but it was 58 ticks on futures. It's called ticks, but in this case 58 of them So a nice little move there on the euro today off of our Neo Trail strategy. This is why we say, first setup always the best. You want to wait. You don't want to do multiple usually. But overall, there wasn't really much for that. I was going to see if the euro actually set up here with our other strategy as well. And it didn't look like it. Yeah, that money flow didn't flip entirely. But nice little uptrend today in most of the markets. Gold had a move early today for sure. At 10 a.m. it had that big push after that trend break, which was really nice. But overall, man, I didn't get my caffeine today, so I'm exhausted. But overall here, on gold, right? We have, we're still stuck in this 4-hour downtrend. This is GC, of course. The pair should be pretty similar. I can pull it up. Oh, I'm on trade right here. Hold on a sec. There you go. Pair is exactly the same. Still stuck in this downtrend here. 4-hour though. If this gets that retest of that trail, it might be worth the swing there in gold. Already said, will crypto go more down tomorrow? It just depends, man. The CPI is going to affect crypto. It's going to affect mostly everything. So be on a high watch for that report in the morning, and then you'll see where it goes. So I can't really like look into what the algorithms are going to do on the report. I wish I could. That'd be great. We'll never have to look at a chart again. But overall, not too bad. Not too bad of a day. We got really choppy here after lunch, or right at the beginning of lunch. So again, this is all anticipating where we're heading next. But this is when you look at your weekly charts. You identify where we're at. In this case, the NASDAQ is in such a smooth bull flag right now that I really like, and this is the break that occurred. So the break occurred last week, and so we have fully confirmed that break. We talked about it the week before, remember, the week of October, or last weekend of October. We talked about that bull flag breaking on the NASDAQ, and it broke last week. So, it could be worth, potentially a long into the news, but if you were long from that original break, obviously you'd be sitting up with a nice cushion for the news coming tomorrow. But in this case, like always, if we do have a good day tomorrow, our target for the end of the week would honestly be 16K on the NASDAQ. So seeing a $500 move on that, which would be awesome. ES, same situation, we would want to see maybe like 4,600. It probably wouldn't do that as much on ES as NQ. But a nice 3% week would be pretty awesome. As you can see, the week before that, we had, a 5% week, which is pretty major. And then, we average roughly 1.5 to 3% on our weeks. So we'll see if we can, make that move. We're due for a nice, for a nice higher low for once. Hopefully we can get it. But again, this market isn't going to rebound until it has effectively seen inflation adjust. But the dollar there, looking at Mickey's chart, man, it's coming out of this massive uptrend that it's had. So it's cool to definitely see that, which could really help with the overall market. If we look at like a weekly chart, you can see it's been rallying since early July this year. So it definitely has room to come back down a bit. So hopefully, and also, Mickey, on the DXY, we're getting a Neo Trail reject.
Here we go
on the weekly chart. So we're heading lower. No, but I mean, this is similar to any trend following tool, a little more dynamic, but you can already tell that clearly this zone had an issue. So there's a lot of resistance forming in this 106,
Pick your setup.
107 area. The Neo Trail has spoken, so DXY going to 0. That would be insane. But like I mean, here's another thing you could do is like, let's pull up, the ES here. We could, if it'll let me, we could do a comparison. When the ES was at its last, previous all-time high was, December of 21, right? You could see the dollar at the time was sitting. This is percentage. Hold on. Let me just turn this off for a second. Why does it do the percentage? That's annoying. How do I turn? Do you know how to fix that? Let me see if I can get price. You do comparison charts, but it's just giving me percentages. Oh well, I'll just take that off, so you can see the price.
Just do the 2-panel like I have.
Yeah, I can do the 2-panel too. But anyway, I mean, it was below $100. Oh, he said right click. I appreciate that. He said right click. Right click and do what? If I right click on this guy? I wonder if it...
Closing bell, 3 minutes.
He was saying right click. Yeah, I don't know how to fully get rid of that. Switch the percentages to price. Oh, here we go. Oh, I see why I did it. Let me see if I go log if it helps out. It's just because the pricings are so different. That makes sense. Anyway, where we were, right? It was about right here, 93. Now we'll just bring this back up. Oh, okay. Now it adjusted itself. Anyway, we were in, we were right below $100. So, if we want to get to those, all-time highs again, the dollar is probably going to have to come back down from this level, getting as close to 100 as we can. So we'll see if it does, right? We really need it to get down a little bit lower just based on the post, or the pre-COVID times, right? Or actually, sorry, when we were in that previous all-time high. Pre-COVID, we go back here, we were sitting below $1, right? So even pre-COVID, below the 100 was where we wanted to be. So we'll see if we can get there. Come, this Neo Trail setup. It has spoken, as Benji said. Hopefully we can get that retracement, and already we're seeing a lot of buying pressure come into this market over the past few weeks. So could be a nice start to that next rally, right? To finally hit 5K on the E-mini, which would be pretty awesome. The forward curve on the trading view here has it doesn't have 5K for Jeezers. Doesn't have ES hitting 5K until December of 27. I'd be shocked if it took that long to get there, but you never know. It could. Never know. But we'll see based on what we're seeing here. But overall, on the year, we're still up. Year to date, we're up 13%. And then the overall year, we're up 11%. So not terrible from where we were. Obviously, as you can see here, if we just pull back 1 year ago, if we just hit YTD at the bottom of our screen here, you can see that, we've been very choppy through this year. We had this nice little rally and then back into a downtrend, but now it's time. It's time to get out of here. So let's see if we can get up there. We've had 3 touches of this downtrend. And you said Matic. Your Matic is mooning right now. But what, we got closing bell? Yeah, it just happened. Matic is getting a decent amount of volume for once. It's a nice few days here. Its weekly chart coming off its lows. I wonder and there's news on here. And there you go. I mean, this is typical crypto crap. Polygon Matic. Price fueled by increase in whale activity. Mysterious wallet transfers 18 million Matic to Coinbase. What's going on? See, I mean, this is why I'm not a huge fan of day trading crypto at all, is because of that. It's very manipulative, especially on those smaller currencies. But in this case, we're going to shift our focus and be ready for this NASDAQ 16K move. That's what we're really looking for. So we'll see if we can get that, but I don't know. It's probably a good place to leave us. What you think, Mickey?
Yeah, I think it's pretty good. I mean, the bell rang a few minutes ago.
Yes, it did. The bell did ring. Did rang it up. But guys, everything's anticipating the news tomorrow, so there's not much analysis that isn't going to change. It couldn't change by tomorrow morning. So that's something you really need to focus on, is what's coming tomorrow at 8:30. Okay, we can look over it one last time here for you guys as we close out. But 8:30 tomorrow, we got CPI, right? We have that CPI data coming out 8:30 Eastern. So if you're anywhere else in the world, make sure that you know what time 8:30 Eastern is, right? Because some people could miss it just based on your time zone. But again, CPI 8:30. We'll go over the report later this week. More than likely, we'll definitely be talking about it in the Discord. So join our Discord. There's a free section of the Discord with the link in the bio, as well as, guys, you can get 30 days risk-free with these indicators we've been using today. If you go to our website at luxalgo.com, just click the big 30 days risk-free button, and we'll see you in there. But if you go to the guides as well through the website, that has the Discord link. It's also in the description, obviously, of this live stream. But we appreciate you being here. We appreciate the new subs and the likes, guys. We short stream today, but we're preparing for a pretty awesome week to come, so get ready. 1 week from today, it's going to be big updates on their way. So hopefully you guys are excited for that. And Mickey, you got anything else to leave us with?
Awesome. No, everyone just trade smart, don't bag hold, close out those small losses, and there you go. You'll survive another day.
Awesome. All right, guys. Well, we appreciate you, and we will see you soon. I'll keep you updated if it's any time later this week. If it is, it's probably going to be Friday, maybe Wednesday, if at all. It'll be Wednesday or Friday. It's not going to be Thursday. I'm pretty busy on Thursday, so thank you, guys, and we will see you then.
Have a good one.
Have a good one.